Is Starmer about to resign? Just moments ago, Tommy Robinson delivered an attack that could bring a political death to the Prime Minister. At a massive rally of up to 80,000 people in London, Starmer was publicly accused of deliberately importing rapists and machete murderers into Britain. Instantly, tens of thousands of citizens occupied the capital streets and government districts. So, why is Tommy now considered danger number one to Keir Starmer? And when he would be thrown into prison?
They're bringing in criminals, rapists, murderers. 66% of the murders were by illegal immigrants. That means 66% of the murders didn't have to happen. We need our own ICE. Europe needs its own ICE. Get these criminals, round them up, and get them out of our country.
66% of murders were committed by illegal immigrants. Broadcasting live to the entire world, Tommy Robinson exposed numbers that Downing Street never mentioned a single time. He directly accused Starmer of shielding certain nationalities who are 13 times more likely to commit violent crimes. And just in hours, something absolutely terrifying unfolded for the British PM. Now, over 75% of the Britons have turned directly against Starmer. These exact citizens flooded the heart of Britain with flags, demanding the immediate resignation of the government. But what was Starmer's reaction? Far-right provocateurs on the streets will face the full force of the law. And after that, the White House could no longer remain silent.
Bring in millions and millions of unvetted people and drop them into your neighborhoods, and we simply reject that idea. So to everybody in the UK who rejects that idea, I'd encourage them to just keep on going. It's okay to want to defend your culture. It's okay to want to live in a safe neighborhood.
By effectively backing the London protests, Washington has taken a hardline stance. People simply do not want to see uninvited illegals from Africa in their towns. The US President's right-hand man, J.D. Vance, didn't name specific names, and he didn't have to. Twitter analysts immediately pointed out that the migration position of Tommy Robinson and the thousands of protesters is much closer to Trump's team than Keir Starmer's official policy. Wall Street is now forecasting a 90% probability that the British PM will resign this very year. But the following footage could cut Starmer's remaining time not down to weeks, but to mere days.
You've allowed people into our towns and cities that are raping way through our towns. They're murdering our kids, left, right and centre. Women are being raped daily across every city in our country from the that you've brought in. You've opened our borders, you put them up, you house them. They're a danger to us. They're a danger to our country, and you give more of a them than you do about British children. You're endangering every one of us and our families by housing men you know nothing about across our country, and to top it all off, we're paying for it. You've done this. The government have done this, the police have done this. Your absolute cowardice has resulted in this. Children being and the problem is, no one can believe a word you say, because you continuously lie. Everything's a lie from you. No one trusts you. Get them out of them hotels. Get them, put them on boats and send them back. Okay? They shouldn't be here. Stop the boat.
Garnering over 8 million views in just 36 hours, Tommy Robinson openly exposed exactly what the current establishment is terrified to talk about. And following his actions, he has been dubbed Britain's most wanted man. Now, analysts are predicting terrifying consequences for him. Starmer's government has repeatedly warned, stirring up racial and religious hatred carries up to 7 years in prison. And after Tommy repeatedly called out specific nationalities and religious backgrounds, the police sent a clear message that this will not be forgotten. But on the other side of the battlefield, Elon Musk has entered the game.
A rapidly increasing erosion of Britain with massive uncontrolled migration, a failure by the government to protect innocent people, including children who are getting gang raped. It's unreal. The government has failed in its duty to protect its citizens, which is a fundamental duty of government.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, is doubling down on a stance he has been broadcasting for months. The British government is fundamentally failing in its duties. Immediately following this, the Twitter owner threw his full support behind Tommy Robinson. His speech calling for a general election and a change in British leadership generated over 9 million tweets. And for Keir Starmer, a critical tipping point has arrived. Tommy's Corner now simultaneously features President Donald Trump's team, online titan Elon Musk, and most importantly, millions of everyday Britons. Experts are warning that if Starmer gives the order to arrest Robinson for stirring up hatred right now, the backlash will be brutal. The British public is just waiting for a spark, and throwing Tommy Robinson into a prison cell for 7 years will be the absolute final straw. Keir Starmer spent months assuring European leaders that the so-called far right is an absolute minority in the United Kingdom. However, recent chaotic events have factually demolished that narrative. Opposition figures swiftly declared that simply labeling dissatisfied citizens as radical provocateurs will never reduce their rapidly growing numbers. Elon Musk personally intervened to clarify the reality on the ground. Hundreds of thousands of Britons on the streets are not far-right or anarchists, but just ordinary mothers and fathers terrified for their children's lives, the billionaire explained. Shortly after this endorsement, explosive statistical data from police departments across the country leaked onto Twitter. From Birmingham to South London, the numbers revealed a chilling correlation between specific demographic segments and the frequency of severe offences. Tommy Robinson immediately seized upon these suppressed reports to expose the grim reality of a modern Britain. He revealed that within certain so-called ethnic enclaves, machete-related crimes have skyrocketed by an astonishing 230%. This activist issued a stark warning about the government's handling of the border crisis, allowing small boat arrivals to disembark without passports or registration in the National Police database, he argued, guarantees an unprecedented era of historic violence. Critics point out that Downing Street is effectively ignoring a looming public safety catastrophe. A staggering figure of 50,000 stabbing attacks per year now speaks volumes about the loss of control on British streets. Every 10 minutes, another victim falls prey to this relentless wave of violence. Panic is visibly spreading through the corridors of government as these figures go viral. Media outlets initially attempted to ignore the data, but public outcry forced the issue into the spotlight. Frustrated taxpayers are demanding to know why these crucial safety metrics were hidden from public view. Starmer's approval ratings continue to plummet as citizens lose faith in his ability to maintain basic law and order. Security experts warn that systematic failure to vet incoming migrants creates perfect storm conditions for organized crime. Neighborhoods once considered peaceful are reportedly transforming into no-go zones after dark. Local councils complain they lack the resources to deal with the sudden influx of undocumented individuals. Financial analysts highlight that the cost of policing these escalating violent incidents is draining municipal budgets dry. Such daily bloodshed directly contradicts the utopian vision promoted by the Prime Minister during his election campaign. Prominent figures within Donald Trump's political orbit have directly responded to the unprecedented surge of illegal migration currently flooding into Britain. Currently, an estimated 1.2 million undocumented individuals are residing deep within the country's borders. These shadow populations exist in an environment perfectly calibrated for criminal enterprise, operating entirely outside the official bureaucracy. They work illegally in knots to a new horrific case unfolding every few minutes. Young girls and women of all ages face an apocalyptic threat from the notorious grooming gangs. Prime Minister Keir Starmer previously promised the electorate that he would utterly crush these predatory syndicates once in power. However, opposition leader Nigel Farage recently exposed the uncomfortable reality behind these ongoing operations. For the most part, these gangs are ethnic and comprised of the very illegals that Starmer is effectively encouraging, he stated publicly. Local law enforcement departments continuously record that these perpetrators predominantly adhere to a specific religious background. Furthermore, the vast majority of these arrested gang members were not even born on British soil. Authorities have shockingly reached the point where women are officially advised against walking alone after 7 in the evening. Yet, it is the next revelation that has truly horrified top American politicians watching the crisis unfold from Washington. Under current British legislation, female citizens are absolutely stripped of their right to carry any form of weapon for self-defense. Imagine a towering 6'6" undocumented illegal charging at a local girl with a deadly zombie knife in hand. she possesses zero legal right to shoot back or defend her life with equal lethal force. Possessing even a basic bladed tool for personal protection constitutes a severe criminal offense under the current laws. What baffles US officials the most is that even a simple canister of pepper spray is strictly outlawed by the draconian legal code. Tommy Robinson says, "Instead of empowering victims, Starmer's policing strategy relies on something different. Constables actually instruct vulnerable women to stick to well-lit areas or travel exclusively in groups to merely reduce their chances of being attacked." Representatives from the Trump administration are reportedly appalled by these defenseless societal norms. In America, the sacred Second Amendment guarantees a woman's fundamental right to equalize a violent encounter with a firearm. Across the Atlantic, the contrast could not be more humiliating for the British government. Downing Street effectively mandates that its citizens remain helpless prey while importing unvetted foreign nationals by the thousands. Women are essentially paying the ultimate physical price for the ruling party's obsessive commitment to open borders. Fear dictates the daily routines of half the population, while politicians hide behind secure Westminster walls. No civilized society can claim to be progressive when its daughters are locked indoors by dusk. Ideological divides between US self-reliance and UK state-enforced vulnerability are expanding rapidly on the world stage. Republican lawmakers frequently use the failing British streets as a terrifying cautionary tale for their own voters. Every new viral video of a machete attack in London gets up 2 million views in hours and further validates the Trump camp's hardline immigration stance. Voters are starting to realize that the state cannot simultaneously dismantle self-defense rights and dismantle border security without catastrophic consequences. This lethal combination has created an absolute paradise for predatory criminals prowling the streets. A government's primary duty is to protect its citizens, yet Labour seems entirely focused on accommodating trespassers. Grooming gang survivors are finally speaking out, detailing how authorities silence them to avoid appearing culturally insensitive. Now, with the American right wing highlighting this specific hypocrisy, the international embarrassment is entirely unavoidable. Discrepancies between official press releases and the bloody reality of the streets have finally reached a breaking point. Top-tier intelligence analysts warn that importing millions of unvetted young men creates an irreversible demographic crisis. Communities that once thrived on mutual trust are now deeply fractured and paralyzed by suspicion. Without the ability to carry pepper spray, a solitary female commuter is entirely at the mercy of whoever shares her train carriage. Defenders of the British legal system argue that banning weapons prevents escalations, but the soaring stabbing rates prove the exact opposite. Criminals simply ignore the weapon bans, leaving only the law-abiding public completely disarmed and exposed. Trump's inner circle views this dynamic as the ultimate manifestation of a failed liberal state. Patriots marching behind Tommy Robinson frequently cite this exact loss of personal sovereignty as their primary grievance. They demand a total overhaul of a justice system that punishes a father for protecting his home but grants bail to a violent, undocumented offender. Reclaiming the streets has become the central rallying cry for the tens of thousands currently occupying the capital.